Welcome to this month's ILTA Title Matters Talk. Thank you to Shawn Neely with North American Title Insurance Company for sharing his perspective and viewpoints on some of the top issues over the last year and pivots into the post-COVID world. Welcome, Shawn. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself to the audience and telling us what perspective you're bringing to us today.
Thanks for having me, Brian. My name is Shawn Neely. I'm a state agency manager, like Brian said, for NATIC, North American Title Insurance Company. As a state agency manager, my position is to help support our agents with their day-to-day issues and concerns and support their growth and development.
Now, as you've provided that support over the last year and know you'll continue to provide that support, are there any lessons or maybe misconceptions that maybe agents you've seen don't fully realize or appreciate that someone in your position can provide to them?
Well, sure. Yeah, I think the first aspect is the psychological one, right? And I don't think a lot of agents get the opportunity to talk and connect with each other, and this conception that they're alone is not true. I think my first message to title agents out there is like, yeah, exactly. You're not alone. Everybody's busy, right? Everybody is maybe behind in a little in certain areas. Everyone could use a couple new employees, and I know some days are harder than not. And this last year had no shortage of challenges and adaptations necessary, but trust me, we talked to a lot of folks and everyone's having the same issues.
So as agents are realizing that they're not in it by themselves, that there is a support system out there, what are maybe some of the areas you've seen that support is needed or can be provided, or you'd even recommend in terms of maybe what categories of support? Let's start there.
Sure. And I think some of the stuff we saw during COVID existed before, and it's going to continue to exist. It was just maybe amplified that much more due to the situation. But staffing is always going to be an issue, right? You have this influx of business. We don't have a lot of available employees out there to gather from. So just getting people in the office to help you get through that workflow has been a challenge.
So beyond the staffing, I do want to circle back to that. Are there any other areas maybe that agents that you've seen could utilize support for, whether it's maybe not as much now, but you would recommend they pay attention to for the future to be ready for that post-COVID environment of the market?
I think a big part of that is definitely just trying to get a plan ahead. Figuring out how to get back to the normalcy from pre-COVID days. Marketing is a big thing. I know all of our folks have been too busy to think of marketing, to think of what the future is there, but it's definitely something that you're going to want to have in place. Understanding your social media marketing plan. If you haven't sat down, done your 2021 business plan yet, this is the time to do it because things are going to open up great. I think we're going to have a great spring market out there, and that's going to last us a while, but revisiting what you need to do to have your ducks in a row to be successful in the future years. Don't neglect that just because we were naturally busy because of COVID.
So Shawn, you mentioned the staffing being an interesting area that agents sometimes need support or help with, whether that's recruitment or staff they may have. Maybe we can start with people in the market right now working. Where are maybe areas of education or training that you have seen or would recommend that people pay attention to for those currently out working in the industry?
There's a lot more resources out there, Brian, than I think people realize. First things first, just touch base with your underwriters, see what kind of programs they have, make sure your folks are all on the mailing list, in tune to the webinars that we're all doing a fantastic job of. So if your staff's not getting that information, definitely make sure they're connected with the right mailing lists so they can be aware of that. ILTA's website's fantastic for training and education, and I think it's overlooked, unfortunately, too often. There's Title 101 classes on there. There's a new agent training, all kinds of stuff. If you haven't been to the ILTA.org webpage, alta.org/education, do take a look. There's resources there to sit folks down for and get them up to speed.
And as a state association, we're certainly supportive of the larger network of the American Land Title Association. So thanks for highlighting that, Shawn. Maybe if we can pivot to the aspect of the industry that's been relevant over the last couple of years and certainly has been during the increased transactions over the last year is beyond current staffing. What, if any, trends have you seen with trying to find new staffing, whether it's difficulties or any other insights you have with that?
Sure. And, there's obviously, it's always been tough to find folks already in the industry, right? I make the joke all the time, I wish there was a guidance counselor back in high school that said, hey, you'd be great for title insurance, right? We could use that guy and get people pointed in the direction of our industry earlier on, but unfortunately there's not. But one of the things I think that came out of this is the ability to find good people in other places. I go back and recommend the hospitality industry very often. I personally know countless folks that are probably never going to go back to the hospitality industry, not for a while anyway, and would be great closers, great title people. If you utilize some of the training stuff we talked about earlier, they're out there, they're personable, they're smart. There's people out there looking for work. And I think some of these, again, especially the hospitality industry would translate very well to aspects of our business.
So with those that don't have that unique guidance counselor, or maybe didn't come out of the hospitality industry hit by COVID, the question of where to find qualified people or people that can be trained, are there any other areas that you've seen or maybe recommend or even have yourself help your company look at when recruiting outside of the title industry?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the old Facebook. I follow a number of groups there. There is a Chicago hospitality groups. There's also notary association groups, folks that would be very willing to step into a larger role in our industry if we reach out to them. There's online resources. The National Notary Association's website's great. They have a loan agent or forgive me, I don't know forgot what it's called, but loan signing agent program right there, which is a great, some great fundamentals for a new closer possibly. So yeah, look outside, look online, and just think out of the box. These folks are sitting there. We can do a post. Hey, we're looking for somebody in this area who's interested, and I think you'll be very surprised what you can find looking outside of the industry.
Thanks, Shawn. That's certainly been an issue for members over the last couple of years, and we obviously want to encourage people to come into this industry and benefit from some of the opportunities. As always, Shawn, we appreciate your involvement in the association. We thank you for taking your time today to provide some of the insights that you have, and thanks again.
Thank you, Brian.